Hi, this is Nicholas Yock, a registered education and migration agent from Pathway to Oz. Today I'm going to discuss with you studying to become an early childhood teacher. So early childhood teachers are some of the most in-demand occupations in Australia. You teach very basic literacy, numeracy, art, music to pre-primary students. So students usually age between around 1 to 6 years old. Perhaps more important than sort of the teaching aspect, such as teaching maths or language, etc., is the promotion of young children's, social, emotional, and physical, behaviour and development. So early childcare teachers or early childhood teachers are much more in demand in comparison to sort of like primary school teachers or secondary school teachers in Australia. The occupation is on the government's or immigration's medium to long-term strategic skill list. And in normal times, so non-COVID times, it's on pretty much every state occupation list. Some employment statistics for early childhood teachers. This information comes from the government's Job Outlook website. So the occupation of early childhood teacher is expected to grow very strongly over the next 5 years. The average weekly pay for an early childhood teacher is about $1,488 per week. And this is another interesting statistic, but 98% of early childhood teachers are female. That's not to say males can't do it. We've definitely enrolled people in that course who are male before, but it's definitely a very female orientated or female dominated occupation. Okay, so what do you need to study to become an early childhood teacher? To become an early childhood teacher, you would usually need to have a bachelor degree in education or teaching, majoring in early childhood education or early education. This would usually take 3 years if you just did it by itself. If you have already done a diploma in early childhood education, you may be able to do a shorter or more condensed bachelor program, which would usually take about 2 years. If you already hold a bachelor qualification in another field, you actually might be able to do a postgraduate diploma or master's. This can be done in certain circumstances in as little as 1 year. And if you study the course in Australia, the course will usually include the required supervised teaching practice as part of the course. So you would actually be able to register and potentially pass the skill assessment. Another question that we are commonly asked is, what is the difference between an early childhood teacher and an early childhood worker? Alright, so although similar, the duties undertaken are different. An early childhood teacher is a more senior role with more responsibility. You'll actually usually oversee the early childhood workers. Obviously the difference in education level, so to be an early childhood teacher you need a bachelor. To be an early childhood worker you just need the diploma. And obviously an early childhood worker is paid less than an early childhood teacher, so an early childhood teacher would take home a lot more. Finally, from an immigration perspective, there's a massive difference. So an early childhood teacher is on the medium to long-term strategic skills list, and usually I think you'll find it on a lot of state occupation lists. So you can apply for a lot of different visa options, even employer-sponsored visas, etc. Whereas the early childhood worker, it's not on too many of these lists, so it's a lot more difficult to sort of get those after study options. I hope you have found this information useful. If you are interested in finding out more information about studying to become an early childhood teacher or really any course in Australia, feel free to contact Pathway to Oz. Thank you.